Area of rectangles. The area of any shape is defined to be the number of squares of area 1 that can fit within it. In the below drawing, 6 unit squares fit within the rectangle of a height of 2 and a base of 3. I can go ahead and move these squares apart. I can see that it took me 6 squares to cover this rectangle. In general, the area of a rectangle is equal to its base times its height. This can also be referred to as its length times its width. The formula we will write for the area of a rectangle equals length times width, which also equals base times height. Units are labeled as square units. Solving for missing information. A rectangle has an area of 56.7 centimeters squared and a length of 9 centimeters. Write an equation that relates the area to the length and width. Solve the equation to determine the width of the rectangle. Step 1, we write the formula, area equals length times width. Then in step 2, we plug in the known information. The first thing that we're told is that the area is 56.7 centimeters. So I can plug that in to where the area goes. The second thing that we are told is that the length is 9 centimeters. So I am going to take the length falls here in the equation, and I'm going to substitute in the length. The width, or W, is what is unknown. So I put that there. Now I have the equation, and I'm going to use inverse operations to solve for the unknown. In step 2, to solve for the unknown, I have my formula, area equals length times width. I already substituted in my values that I knew, 56.7 equals 9W. So the operation here is 9 times W. The inverse of multiplying by 9 is dividing by 9. So I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 9. 9 divided by 9 is 1. So I'm left with W on the right-hand side. And 56.7 divided by 9 is 6.3 centimeters. The answer is 6.3 centimeters. Solving for missing information. A rectangle has an area of 55 1/4 inches squared and a length of 8.5 inches. Write an equation that relates the area to the length and width of W. Solve the equation to determine the width of the rectangle. Step 1, I write the formula, area equals length times width. In step 2, I plug in the known information. The first thing that we're told is that the area is 55 1/4 inches squared. So I'll substitute that into the spot where the area is. The second thing that we're told is that the length is 8.5 inches. Here's my length in the equation. So I substitute the 8.5. It's the width, or the W, that we are solving for. I'm solving for the W, which is my unknown. So in step 2, I use inverse operations to solve for the unknown. So I end up with 55 1/4 equals 8 1/2 W. 8 1/2 W means 8 1/2 times W. The inverse of multiplying by W is dividing by W. So I'll convert them to improper fractions, and then I'll multiply the inverse, which is the same as dividing. So multiply 2/17 by both sides. Over here on the right-hand side, these cancel out, and I end up having 1W, which is my answer. And when I solve over here on the left, I end up with 13/2 equals W, which converted to mixed number is 6 1/2 inches equals W, or the width.